Hello, and welcome to Puzzlers Anonymous. My name is Kevin, and I am a puzzle addict, and it is a new year. What else is going on? I've been puzzling a lot recently. A lot of my videos have been, I haven't done this in 6 months, I haven't been on this. But I've been back on it. A few reasons. One, I had a new viewer, which is always cool. Shout out Jason. Thank you for being on the channel. I've mentioned some of my old videos, like, I don't do this to build a following. I'm not trying to get like a big YouTube movement, obviously, because I only post like once every 6 months. But it feels good when, someone just pops in and says, hey, I like your videos. So that inspired me to do more. And I've been meaning to get back into it anyways. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole where I was spending a lot of my free time playing Civ 6. Which is a good game, but I feel like I like the idea of Civ more than I actually like Civ. Like, I always like the idea of building out my civilization, and I quickly get bored as the map fills in, or I feel like there's only a few routes to actually, like, correct ways to play the game, and I don't dig that. I like to play it more like SimCity, where I'm just building up a civilization, but then there is that competitive element. This is not important. The point is, I spent a lot of my time on a hobby that was only partially satisfying, but just kind of sucked down the rabbit hole. So for that reason, I've also been trying to get back into this, which I actually enjoy. So I've been doing quite a few puzzles. The thing about this, I'll just kind of re-explain how I do this, because I have a new viewer, not that I expect you to continue watching every video forever, but times when I have been super productive on this channel, I record the crossword every single day. That doesn't mean I publish every day, but I would record myself doing it, and I would just publish the ones that are good. So that either means like it's a really cool and interesting puzzle, or like I thought my video was a good journey where I like started out in the completely wrong direction and then had a revelation that changed it. So something like that. I also do it like Cracking the Cryptic. I think everyone knows Cracking the Cryptic. If you're watching my crossword thing, and you don't know Cracking the Cryptic, you have a weird YouTube journey, but because they're like what inspired me. But it's these great guys who do like Sudokus. But much like Cracking the Cryptic, I only publish the puzzle if I've solved it. So that's kind of spoilers. There's never gonna be a video where I give up halfway through. So being re-energized, I'm not back to doing it every day, but I will say this is the third time that I've given this spiel, because I always do the life catch up, and then I only publish it if the puzzle is good. So that's what happened. So I will probably get right into puzzling. I usually do a life update at the beginning, but now I think it's been like 2 weeks. I don't know, Christmas came and went, kind of finishing up that limbo time. This is January 4th, so tomorrow we'll be back to like regular work. I tend to work through the holidays. I'm not married, I don't have kids. My parents live like an hour away, so I just go home for Christmas Eve and Christmas, but otherwise I stay in Madison, and I kind of keep the lights on at work so that other people can take time off. But I did end up impromptu taking Friday off because my mom and my nephew wanted to go to the zoo here in Madison. So that was really fun. But yeah, otherwise it's been that weird limbo time. Like, I was work's a little bit slower this time, but I actually had more to do this December than you usually do. I accidentally became important at work, and it's ruining my life. That's not true. I love my job. That's just a classic tweet, though I am busier than I would like to be. And then, yeah, another puzzle news, I got really into the Blueprints, which is a game that I had wanted to play for a while, but I didn't have any system that could play it, and now I have a new computer, and I can, and Gina and I were going to play it together, because we do like puzzling together. We do like the Sunday crosswords together when we have time. So we started it together, but it wasn't working timing-wise. So she was like, you just play it, and we'll do other puzzles together, which is great, because I'm about 20 hours in now, and I know she would not have wanted to dedicate as much time to this as I did. So it's a better route, but I am digging that game a lot. A lot of people said being a roguelike where it's kind of like puzzling but randomized, you reach a point where it gets frustrating, where you kind of know what you want to do, but you need the random pieces to align. I feel like I might be approaching that point, but I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah, that's a life update, mainly about video games, but let's get into puzzling. I am going to do a Thursday today because those are my favorites. So when I took like the week off and wasn't doing daily, then I like to do the ones I really like. I like Thursdays because they are the trickiest of the themed ones. I feel like they get into really like weird stuff, which I appreciate. But first, I'm going to show you Puzzmo has a new puzzle. Oh, this is... I was set up the other days just to get this lined up right, but I will go to today's. Yeah, this is a new puzzle just dropped on Puzzmo. I love Puzzmo, so I always like to try out their new stuff on here. This one, I think, works better on a phone screen than on a computer screen, just because it's a lot of, like, dragging your finger. So I think here I'm going to have to click, so it works a lot better on a, touch screen, but it's called Ribbit. There's a little frog theme, so these are supposed to be lily pads, and basically you are just creating words connected together and submitting them. I think I double click when I'm, but a very cool thing happens is once a connection has been used, it disappears. So I should have explained this beforehand, but I did a null just there, and now there's no connection between the ends there. Because there aren't going to be any other words that have ends consecutively. So that is off the table. The other thing is once a letter has been used up, like no longer appears in any words, it will disappear. So it's a bit like spelling bee, but it's more letters spread out, and it has like an end point. You are working to get all the letters and have them disappear. So I'll see if I can do that today. I'm not going to spend like 10 minutes on it. But yeah, it's really cool because it has these paths. You're not as lost as you are in spelling bee, because it, you're just tracing the letters. It kind of guides you. You can see from what I was tracing that I had already found one that I was expecting to put in, unqualified. That didn't take anything out. I was looking at the Q because I think, that's obviously going to be a limiting one. So I think, no, that I was going to say qualified, but that doesn't connect there. Yeah, that's kind of weird because the Q just goes to, it's always going to be QU. That goes to QUA, which is just, you can get the qual there, but then it going to F or N, I just don't know. But I did see union in here. One strategy I found has worked well is for like getting rid of the outliers. So is there anything that goes N-O-I? Noise. Noif. Noinal. Yeah, so that's probably one that just goes that way. F. Fion. Is there stuff that goes that way? See, this is where it gets tricky. Okay, nothing's going to end with H, so let's do some words starting with H. Okay, yeah, see? Boom. Once you get a letter gone, you get a cute little froggy. And when it's all done, they sing in a chorus. But I always do this at like 2 a.m. when my phone sound is off, so I've never heard what they sound like. I don't even know if they make noise, but there's an animation of them doing it. There's got to be more with un. Is unfinal a thing? I know final is going to be a thing. Unfinal is not a thing, but final is. Field we're going to have. Okay, I'm still... There's other things that can like go into Q. Like unique is one I'm thinking of, though we don't have the letters for that. Probably screaming at the screen right now. I won't take too long in this, though. It will be satisfying to finish it. Is Luna going to be in there? Nice. I did a null already. AUL is a common thing, but then it has to come off of N, which could be, there could be something in there that is still, where's the UL? Equal. That's where the Q goes. Will that get rid of the Q? Yes. All right. We are down some. Field I did already. Does it go the other way? IED. Nide. Fide. Ooh, this is pretty tricky. It is a Sunday. I wonder if they did a trickier one on a Sunday. Or I'm just bad at this. Oh, unified. There we go. Cool, and the N is gone now. So then this is just going to be... So here, like, look at this. DLE is never going to happen. So we need another one that goes into this. We have field. Yeah, I got nothing. Same here. We're not going to have something ending NI. Like, this isn't Italy. So it's going to be in... Yeah, because it's not going to be NFL. So, infidelity. Infield. This is embarrassing. I probably have some sort of baseball thing in my background. Yeah, look at this. I got Lorenzo Cain and Bob Uecker. Sorry, this is a mess. I should not have Bob Uecker hidden like that. But look at this. Look at this. He's got the Brewers bobblehead. He's got the Brewers winter snowman designation. He's got baseball highlights 2045. He's got... Somewhere in here is a signed Raleigh Fingers baseball. I really got to organize this shelf. Signed Raleigh Fingers baseball, Hall of Fame, 92. And yet he struggled to find infield. Why would anyone watch this channel? The man's an amateur. He doesn't know how to puzzle. Okay. See, LF could actually happen, something like calf. But it could go the other way. It could be flan. Yep, okay, that was the last. Okay, we're getting here. So this is, I'll finish this. Ulna. That's a painful one for me because I broke my ulna. And then I think anion is going to be the last one. Did I break my ulna or did I break my radii? Okay, I think they're just a silent chorus of frogs. So that is Ribbit. That's the new Puzzmo one. And I'm enjoying it. I'm about to get the sun in my eyes. Hopefully this won't fuck up this whole thing. But I got an old house. I don't have like the fancy new windows. My windows are kind of shitty. So despite the fact that I am a homeowner, I still do the like college, rental, put the plastic film over the windows thing, the double pane there. And because of that, my blinds are like in the windows. So I had to choose where the blinds would be at before putting that up, and now they're there for the whole winter. And I did choose for this window to have them mostly open, so between like 9 and 11 a.m. I just have sun in my face, and it should be fine. I'll look a little bright, but hopefully it doesn't make the screen unreadable for myself. But I'm gonna start to look pretty funny, sort of like a baseball player in the infield when the sun is right in their eyes. Okay, Thursday, Topher Booth. Oh, one more thing just for explaining how my channel goes. Some of my other recent videos I did get into speed running, and that was just because like I got the theme clues so quick. I was like, yeah, let's see if we can speed run it. But that is not my vibe. The whole point of this is just to be conversational, talk about what I'm doing. This originally started because I would talk to my girlfriend all the time about interesting themed clues, like answers, just a good play on words. I have ADHD also. Can you not tell by the way I'm talking? So it's like just brain dumping on her. But she finds it interesting enough. I guess she likes me even though I talk too much. So at one point she said, can you just record a video of you solving a crossword and describing your thought process? So I just did it as an experiment because she thought it would be interesting, and I ended up really enjoying it. So my whole point here is to take my time, specifically talk about how I'm getting these clues or what's coming to me. If I go off on a tangent about baseball or whatever, that's, part of the experience. So yeah, it's just kind of goofing around. Part of the idea is like listening to my thought process should hopefully teach you how to do crosswords better. That idea also comes from Cracking the Cryptic, where they explain, how to solve the Sudokus. And I will say, Gina has been, like, we crossword, we do the Sundays together. She's started doing it on her own. And, through practice, you really do get better. I've rang this bell on my channel a bunch of times, but it's like, if I solve it faster than you, if I'm doing better than you, it's because I've been doing this my whole adult life off and on. It's really just practice. The other day she was saying that she only does Mondays. Today she was telling me she has started solving Tuesdays and even Wednesdays. So I think me explaining my thought process helps a little with that. Also practice helps. But yeah, I want to get her on the channel. It might happen soon. We'll see. Okay, Thursday. So we are looking for themed clues first. Of course, because it is a Thursday, which is extra tricky. Oh, shout out Topher Booth. I didn't mention the author. This is by Topher Booth. Thursdays typically don't have a revealer. You just got to figure it out. They'll just give these themed clues, which these are obviously the themed clues because they're the long ones and they're in italics, but usually the revealer would be right about here. Ooh, this one does have a revealer. Never mind. So that almost means it's going to be extra tricky. Okay. Which 1991 comedy starred Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss? The only one I can think of is Groundhog's Day, which doesn't fit there. Could it also be Caddyshack? See, but it's not going to be that because it's trickier than that, It's in italics. It's not going to be as simple as that. Speaking of Caddyshack, there was a story recently. There was a Chevy Chase documentary, and no one involved in Community participated except for like one guy who directed one episode. And relatedly, Gina's been watching Community. God, I just make it sound like she just does all my hobbies, but it's mainly like I talk about these things she gets interested in, doesn't. So like I make a lot of Community references. She decided to watch some of it just to like understand what I was talking about, and it ended up being us watching the whole show, and we actually finished the last episode last night. And then I read an article about Chevy Chase and his feud with Bill Murray, and then how they still made Caddyshack after that. I've never seen Caddyshack. All right, so I don't know what this is. Next theme clue. Also totally common on Thursdays to just go through the themed clues, not know what they are, and then figure it out later. What Edvard Munch painting inspired a poster for Home Alone? Well, that would be The Scream. That's the only painting anyone knows him from. It's obviously the one that is parodied in Home Alone, the movie that ruined my life as a child, when everyone learned your name is Kevin and has to reenact Catherine O'Hara's amazing scene where she yells your name. But yeah, I don't know what this is. This is going to be tricky. What fictional English heavy metal band consists of David St. Hubbins, Nigel Tufnell, and Derek Smalls? That is Spinal Tap, another classic comedy that I've never seen. And isn't that Rob Reiner, R.I.P. in peace? I think he directed that. So yeah, I bet this one is Groundhog's Day. I think Richard Dreyfuss is the one in Groundhog's Day. So this is Groundhog's Day. This is The Scream. This is Spinal Tap. As you're probably noticing, none of them actually fit in their spaces. That's tricky. Well, let's go to the revealer. Test graders' aids, or what is needed to respond to the 6 italicized clues in this puzzle. 6? Do we got some themed downs? Uh-oh. I figure I have a bigger monitor, and then I cut out part of it, so I have to make sure to never scroll the big window. Gotta keep games at the top and wordplay at the bottom. Sorry there. Okay, more italicized one. What Mediterranean nation lies between Italy and Libya? There's a bunch. It's okay. It's gonna be plays on word. It's between Italy and Libya, like in the alphabet, because there are a bunch between Italy and Libya. Who won Best Supporting Actor for Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas? Is this a mistake? Will I forgive you if it is, because you had a stroke and all that, but is it supposed to be that there's a question mark in the title of Goodfellas? I'm assuming that's an error, because all the other ones do have the question mark at the end, so I don't think it's like playing on that. Okay. Who won Best Supporting Actor for Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas? I don't know. That is a movie that I've seen. Which unit of data storage could hold 200,000 HD movies? Is it a terabyte? You bastards, you did it. It's a community reference. Okay, so now let's actually pay attention to this now that we have an idea of what the clues are. Test graders' aids, or what is needed to respond to the 6 italicized clues in this puzzle. Well, that's probably answer keys. Okay. So how would answer keys fit with any of this? Is it keys like keyboard keys? The closest I can think of is Spinal Tap and Tab. I don't think it's that. Is there anything else? Yeah, I'm going with Spinal Tap because I'm very confident. I'm going to write it out in a different space just to look at the letters, because and we need it to be 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're taking 2 letters out. We need to respond to the, it's needed to respond to, so it's just like how you answer in this. So what in here? Alt is our key. Okay, Rebus alert. I should have known it was a Rebus alert as soon as they didn't fit. So it is going to be a thing, and then the Rebus is going to be a key from a keyboard. So we got, no, take me out of Rebus mode. No more Rebus mode. Okay, so we got Spinal Tap there. So this is this scream. That's going to be escape, right? It's going to be TH. There we have escape. Unrebus. This is why I was trying to do it by there. I found this weird thing when Gina and I were puzzling before of like, when you're in Rebus mode and then you hit enter to presumably get out of Rebus mode, it also just scrolls the screen down. That could be a Safari problem. Okay. So this one I think was Groundhog's Day. Could also be, no, because Caddyshack would actually fit. So it is Groundhog's Day. So then what is the computer key that's in there? GROUNDSHOG. Ah, that's so many letters. I'm not sure that is the right one. 91 feels right though. The sun is definitely shining on my face now. I'm probably all aglow at Southridge. Shout out Milwaukee suburbs, malls. And I actually have a Windows keyboard despite being on a Mac, just because I found this was a very good ergonomic, recommended by a friend, and it connects up, but it does cause some confusion when I need to use, these guys down here. I've had to like retrain myself. And now the new computer I have doesn't have the touchpad. I went with like a desktop, the Mac Mini. I wish I could show you it, but it's plugged in right now, but it's very small because I bike to work, and I'm hybrid. I'm in office 2 days a week, and we bring our computers back and forth. We're not that bougie that we have an office computer, so I like the idea of a tiny one, and it's like, it's a lot lighter, so it's just easier to transport. It's like, not everyone needs the laptop, like, especially this. I'm just doing this at work. I don't really need to bring a screen with me every time. I've actually found in meetings I wasn't bringing my laptop anyways, because with the ADHD, like, I found it was more of a distraction. I can't really stop myself from, checking emails when they come in, so I'd end up just like closing my screen and just doing handwritten notes. So yeah, I like it a lot more. But the point is, it doesn't have the trackpad. I still have a mouse and a keyboard, and the mouse works fine. But for whatever reason, without the trackpad, I've just committed myself more to learning keyboard shortcuts and like navigating the computer as well as possible just with the keyboard. And because of that, I've really had to like brain map, like, okay, control is option and Windows key is command. Otherwise, I'm going to be lost forever on these commands on the Mac. Okay. I'm not seeing any computer keys in here, and I'm not entirely certain if it's that. There's, Bill Murray made a bunch of movies, and I'm not entirely certain that Richard Dreyfuss is in Groundhog's Day. I'm not entirely certain that I could tell you who Richard Dreyfuss is. I feel like he's the guy in Jaws. I feel like I definitely know the name. And I think of him as kind of like a squirrely guy. So maybe he's not the guy in Jaws. We'll look him up at the end, if I remember. Okay, I do think this is going to be some kind of bite. 200,000 movies. Well, let's see, like a video is in megabytes. So maybe this is terabytes. See, I want it to be something that ends with T so we can do tab. Is it a petabyte? So let's say that would be PE tab YTE. Yeah, that's what it is. I need to figure out the keyboard shortcut for Rebus. I just had to grab the mouse. I'll look it up later. Okay, petabyte. Oh, this one's easy because all of these cross over. Yeah, that makes it way easier. So this is Malta. I never would have got that without the letters. This is Pesci. Easy. And does that get us this movie? Well, it's not Groundhog Day. This is... I should know this. I'm not as much of a Bill Murray fan as most people. I like him in Royal Tenenbaums. It's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, his whole like, it's annoying to be famous and beloved shtick is just tiresome. Also, like, he just kind of dodged the Me Too movement. Like, there's this thing. It's just like whoever happened to have a well-timed article at a, like when that was happening, if there had to be an article that everyone read at the right time and then like shared it. And I don't know, he just dodged that because people found him likable. But like, he beat his wife and told her that she was lucky he didn't kill her. So I don't like Bill Murray, and I don't like that everyone likes Bill Murray. Okay, so I'm giving up on that one for now because fuck Bill Murray, and also I don't know what it is, and I gotta solve this before this becomes unviewable. I gotta put my sunnies on. Had no co-conspirators is acted alone. Sharon's domain. I don't know who or what that is. R in French is être. Figure in much World War I propaganda would be the Kaiser. Which then I think is Wilhelm. Ooh, that makes me nervous that petabyte is wrong. It could be something totally different too. Okay, if I just lean over here, it's bad. It's bad YouTubing, but it's good for me. Like most oysters served with mignonette. Don't know. Some Bavarian cries are probably ox. Majestic. Don't know. The 19th letter. Man. I'm not even going to count that out. And also, I feel like that's too easy for a Thursday. It's not going to be as simple as the 19th letter of the English alphabet. Sephora competitor, I think that's Alta. Gallant. Ladies loved his snuff and his gallant stroll. That came up. I'm playing a new RPG, and the George Washington rap came up in that. There's a character who's a giant, and he did make his character 6'20", which I think Comes out to like 7, 8, whatever. Enola Gay. I saw that 2 years ago. I went to the Smithsonian Annex where they have that plane. It's very strange to see in person. Steel rod with ridges. Rebar. That's like the coiled one. Okay, this should. What about Bob? Yeah, that makes more sense because, I feel like that's consistent with my Richard Dreyfuss being a little squirrely guy. Now that I have the answer and I'm not worried about spoilers, let's look up what Richard Dreyfuss looks like. He was in Jaws. I'm still not sure that's who I was picturing. Yeah, because he's still kind of like a cool guy there. But he is supposed to be kind of like the fish out of water guy. I don't know. Fish out of water. Nice. Styx is Sharon's domain. I knew it was some mythological thing. And my Styx records I leave to no one because that's who appreciated Styx as much as me. How many community references can I get into one half-hour video? Maliciously publishes the private info of online. So this would be doxes. Okay, so I conjugated that wrong. Because I was thinking etra is like the, that's like 2B, but R would be like in a group. So it should be that. I don't want to say that for certain because it's been a while since I spoke French, but this is going to be stately. So let's just finish this up. That's going to be raw. And file type is rasp. I'll have to believe you on that. Or maybe question my own answers, but whatever. Piano technician is tuner, so alta. Okay, 19th letter is tau, the Greek alphabet. I'll say it every time. One of these days, I'm going to learn the Greek alphabet for crosswording. Will I actually do it? I don't know, but I'll say it every time. Gallant is noble. Bistecca alla Florentina. Sure. Musician has a good ear. Wow. I still don't know this one. I don't know much about World War I propaganda, I guess. Home to the first NFL team to win a Super Bowl in its own stadium. 2021. It must be Tampa. I thought it was... I remember that happened, but I didn't remember who it was. I would have guessed it was like LA. Did LA also do it? Yeah, I think that's true. I think like it had never happened, and then it happened like twice. Go for the gold is to pan, like panning for gold. Apropos was like as to, so probably apt. That one I only know that term from Royal Tenenbaums. Community references, Royal Tenenbaum references. That's all I provide here on Puzzlers Anonymous. Initialism for an online advertiser. Don't know. Pitted fruit, probably a plum. I believe those are also called stone fruits. Any pitted fruits? Filled or filed. You could probably tell by my face aglow, but it's like I'm fighting an uphill battle here. It's kind of hard to read these clues, but I'm committed. Cat breed from an island in the Irish Sea. I did not know that, but I know the Manx is a cat breed. That's the one with no tail. There are very few known cat breeds. There's that classic meme of like two dog owners. What is that? A husky? No, it's an Alaskan Marmot. Two cat owners. What breed is it? Orange. Chill pill, essentially. Relaxant, right? I don't think I knew that was a word. So should I be able to get this? Yes. Initialism for an online advertiser. Initialism for an online advertiser is SEO. Search engine optimization. Still can't get this, huh? That's okay. Take over for. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's work on this one. I'm surprised there's no themed clues in the Northwest. That's fine. Educational support group it was PTO when I was growing up, and I think it's PTA now. Sounds of realizations are ahs. Here, there's a lot here. Pitchers, stats, chance to redeem myself, earned, run, averages. That's not actually a very good stat to use, but like the crosswords aren't going to update to have, the new stuff. Kid with a route is Paperboy, another out-of-date reference. I gotta look up how old Topher Booth is. Like the origins of Buddhism and Hinduism, Asian. I learned in Civ 6, I was looking up some of the leaders, and the guys, the main guy that they have for Japanese Empire, he was responsible for spreading Buddhism around the world, and a big part of it is like the Mongols were invading Japan, and at the time that they were invading, a typhoon hit, and because of that, people thought that this guy had like divine powers. So he was the divine wind, and then kamikaze, the term that we know from World War II, actually means divine wind, which is a reference to this 13th century leader. Actor Fishburne of The Matrix, that's Lawrence. It came out last night that Gina was rewatching the Barbie movie, and there's multiple Matrix references in there, and she hasn't even seen that. So literally last night I put a hold at the Madison Library on a Blu-ray copy of The Matrix, and we are probably going to watch that this week, because I imagine it'll come in pretty soon, because I don't know how many people are renting The Matrix in 2025. But there were other people who had checked it out. Organization for the Fever and the Dream, that is the WNBA. So Lawrence is probably with a U, isn't it? I don't know. This is an abbreviation. No, it's a U. It's Uncle Sam. Okay. That is propaganda, isn't it? I think of it like a fundraising thing, but it's totally propaganda. That fits the definition. I don't think they mean it in a negative way. No offense to Uncle Sam. Okay. Quotidian. It's like everyday and normal. But it's not going to be normal. I'm just double checking that there really are no themed clues or rebuses here. Roll for Annie Potts on Young Sheldon. Don't know. But just looking at it, I want it to be Mima. And that seems like the type of thing they would do in a sitcom. I can't explain why, but I just like working on clues where I already have the letters, so I'm going to leave that one alone. We'll get it at the end. Investigate. Don't know. Assessment informally is probably exam. Ooh, what happened there? That wasn't even a scroll. That was just, who knows. Gorgon slain by Perseus. Is that Medusa? I did not know that she was a Gorgon. I didn't know a Gorgon was like an official term outside of like D&D. Entry in red ink is a debt, but that's not enough letters, so probably a debit. So-called fifth taste, umami, kind of wind, or an alternative to wind. Solar. You can have solar wind, which is an alternative wind. That's great. Mob, Psycho, 100, genre. I don't know what that is, so that's fun. Denizen of Hell is a demon. I like demon coming off of something that was clued as a Gorgon. Neighbor of Java is Bali. Prayer leader is an imam. So, okay, Mob Psycho 100 is going to be anime, and Tyre is boar. We can go off of this and get some stuff. Horrors. Is that EGADS? I always want it to be EGADS whenever there's an exclamation like that. Group of Experts is a panel. 2010 release, now owned by Meta, informally is probably going to be Insta. So then prefix with genetics, epi, that's probably true, but we'll get more. Singer Stefani is Gwen, and a cohort is a gang, so that works. Negative for Nikolai is Niet, so that would be like a negative. Nikolai is a Russian name, so it would be asking for the Russian negative. Heart chart for short is an EKG. Lit for fun. An example is slang. Okay, yes. See, if I didn't already have the answer, I would read this as like literature for fun, but no, it's like lit is slang for fun. That's a tricky way to clue it. Buffalo to Baltimore direction would be south, southeast. I don't think I would know that if I didn't already have an S. I knew the east, but oh no, I would have known it was south, because, yeah, I would have been able to figure that out. Where many family names begin O. Well, that would be Ireland. They're probably going with the Aaron spelling. Is that like officially like the name now? No. But the Times is doing it. And they didn't do anything indicating that there's trickery afoot. ECG, right? Yeah. Someone I know had one of these recently, and then I was discussing it with Gina, and like EKG and I think ECG are interchangeable, but then she kept saying EEG. But she also works in a hospital, so then like she, probably sees a bunch of different tests. I know EKG is the heart thing, and I think it's interchangeable, and it's got to be ECG because I know Nancy Drew and Sherlock Holmes are detectives, and that's how you spell detective. Take over 4. Maybe something's wrong. I could see Aaron being wrong. It could be like a smaller part of Ireland. Undisguised. Overt, right? So I think assessment is wrong. I don't know about that. Gosh, this is tricky. Okay, take over 4 is relieve. So, okay, yeah, this is overt. So exam is eval. That's where we went wrong. Okay, we're on track. Sit. I don't know. This is going to be tet or fet. It's tet. Park it, right? Sit is park it. That's why it's like a exclamation point. That's such like a mean park it. It's like what angry dads say. Investigate is scope out. Filled is satiated. I did think that was with an S. I should have just put it in. I doubted myself. Okay. So this one we just got to do without letters. Am I brave enough to put in Mima? I'm going to try it. Okay. I did want to do one just because I was looking at it. Because I always struggle with these exclamation point ones. But it's like, God, how do you explain them? See, maybe that's why I can never solve them, because I can never explain them. But it's supposed to be like, it's referring to things. So I want you're looking at it to be clue. Like you're looking at the clue, and thus that's the answer. Let's see. Idly pluck is a banjo. It's not strum, because plucking and strumming are 2 completely different things. It always wins. That is house. So clue is wrong. Grid would maybe be that, but yeah, house always wins. Never gamble. One of us, say, or one of yous. I don't know. These are some true Thursday clues. I was even thinking some of the other ones are a little easy, but this is some Thursday shit. Driver of some engines. I don't know. I guess we should keep in mind that Mima, we're not confident on. You're looking at it. Still don't know. Parasite's target would be a host. Preparation. The talking is not so premium today. I gotta keep track of the time. I'm already at half an hour, and I did a preamble with the ribbit. I gotta close this down. Okay. Preparation for many a surprise party. Hiding, I don't know. Quotidian is usual. So, gosh, I'm gonna take out Mima. That's just messing me up. Idly pluck is a banjo. I don't know how to play banjo. I'm just like, if I pantomime, thinking of like what it would be. I don't know. One of us. One of US? No, because then both would be. One of yous. Driver of some engines. Gosh, do I have to initiate the solve protocol already? Like, I think I can get this. I just don't want to prolong this video. Okay, so I am going to initiate the solve protocol. For people who don't know that, the first is looking up objective answers that I just don't know. And one of those would be a role in the show Young Sheldon. Like, there's no trickery afoot here. That's just like the name of characters. It is Mima. That seemed logical. Okay, that gives us some stuff. Yeah, I really think I feel confident in host being what a parasite targets. And this wouldn't be Strum. I know we have so many letters for Strum. If it is Strum, that's a bad clue because like you either strum or pluck a banjo. Driver. Okay, this is steam. So some engines are driven by steam. Is it just this? If you're looking at it, it's this. That seems weird. Preparation for a surprise party. A ruse, right? Maybe it is strum. Or maybe it's a different word that I... Okay, one of us is Us the magazine. So that's issue. And this is probably this. So thrum is to pluck a banjo. Yes, it is. We gotta look that up. I wonder even if that gets addressed in the wordplay thing, just because it's such a strange word. Tell me, Deb. Also, tell me how old Topher Booth is, because he had some old man references. Took up solid. Okay. Okay, this is talking about Pandy, sourdough, jigsaw puzzles. I get it. He took up solving puzzles during Pandy. Loved it so much he began constructing his debut puzzle as an approachable Thursday grid, tapped into Deb's love of pop culture. That's funny. That also reminds me with a new year that, I forget if it was 1 year ago or 2 years ago, I made a New Year's resolution to write a puzzle myself or construct a puzzle, and I failed completely. Maybe I'll take it back up. Okay. Yes, this is a Rebus puzzle. Rebus alert. Oh, that's another thing I was going to do. I was going to make like an animation for Rebus alert. Maybe I will. Maybe you already saw it in this. Okay, I'm glad I looked at this because file type rasp is confusing. Oh, it's a tool. I still don't know that tool. Here we go. Thrum is not the first word that comes to mind. Strumming or plucking the strings of an instrument is indeed thrumming. She thinks there's a humming sound. But then again, I'm not really a word person. Funny Deb. Okay, cool. We learned some new stuff today. Hopefully you had fun watching this video. I had fun making it. Stay safe.